Morning all, welcome back to the show. Now, I'm just wondering, have we been had? Have we been fooled? Seems to me we might well have been fooled. I'm talking about this milk business, this Arla Foods and the Bovere. We've all jumped on it, haven't we? We've all gone, oh my goodness, we don't want additives added to our milk. We don't want poisons in there. We don't want any of that. And we've seen the TikTok videos of people pouring the milk down the toilet and people taking branded butters and creams and all those sort of dairy things and shoving them in the bin. But I'm just wondering whether we've actually been had, whether this has been manipulated, that this is actually a false flag, that it's all part of getting rid of cows, animals, and indeed dairy altogether, and that we've fallen for it, thinking, oh, what nasty people they were to add additives to it, when in actual fact, we're doing the devil's work in getting rid of cows ourselves. Let me give you my thinking. So imagine the story this way. Instead of what we've been led to believe and how it's played out, maybe it went like this, that in the deep, dark layers of the globalists and the dark forces, they're sitting there going, we need to get rid of the cows. We need to get rid of the dairy industry. How are we going to do this? And some bright wag said, well, why don't we run a story that a certain company is going to put an additive into cows to stop them farting. To stop them farting? Yes. Well, farting isn't really going to make much difference to the big thing, but we'll play on that. We'll play on that methane is this evil thing and global warming is, we'll carry on with the myth about that. But what we'll do is we will make a public announcement. Yes, make a public announcement, hey. And then what we'll do is we will get our own activists on our side, the dark forces side, to make a whole series of videos and jump up and down going, oh my goodness, you've put additives into the cows that will go into the milk and it's in our products and we don't like it and it's this company's fault. Yes, well, what benefit will that be? Well, the benefit, of course, is that the rest of the public will go, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Yes, and they'll make their own videos and YouTubers like that bald bloke with glasses, he'll jump on it and people will think that this is a terrible thing and they'll all say that the milk should not be contaminated and it's awful. And so we seem to be stabbing ourselves in the foot there. No, not quite. Because actually what will happen is that people will settle down, they'll still go back to the supermarkets, they'll still buy all the other foods. It's just that what they will remember is that milk is bad, that milk and dairy is bad because of this outrage that the public have gone to. And they will think, oh yeah, we can't buy milk, we'll have to go and find an alternative milk, like porridge milk, oat milk. We'll do that. And so the milk, or we'll go to the smaller suppliers who do things like raw milk and all the smaller milk companies that are managing to do milk. But the problem there is they're not geared up for the millions of people who are ditching the Sainsbury's and the Tesco's and the other supermarkets' milk. They're not geared up for it. So people will be marching up to little farm shops going, I want some proper real milk. And they say, oh, I'm sorry, we sold out. You swines, you've sold out, but I want milk. I can't go to the supermarket and I can't go to the farm shop. What am I going to do? I'll have to go and get that oat milk. And maybe that's what they'll want to do, is they'll shift the attention from people having proper dairy, good quality, healthy dairy stuff, over to the alternative types of milk, like the oat milk. And there'll be legions of people out there trying to get the little teats on the oats and to milk out all of that. And so the dairy industry and the cows will suddenly become redundant. And it seems to me that's how they will be getting rid of the dairy industry. Because it's funny, isn't it? Presumably those additives are not just going in the dairy industry. Presumably they're going into the beef cattle as well, but I haven't seen much of an outrage on that. It's like everybody got worried about milk and cheese and butter. But what about the beef cattle? No one's talking about that, but presumably beef cattle fart just as much as dairy cattle do. Where's the outrage on your piece of beef? Well, maybe that's coming. Maybe that's the next step, is to demonize the cows, to demonize the milk and the dairy, and soon it'll be the beef. And they have, it's Christmas. Christmas is coming, and those smaller farms have got their regular customers. They're getting ready for Christmas. It's a very tense time. And what will happen? Oh, we can't get our supplies from the supermarkets, and huge numbers will go to these smaller companies, and they may be fooled into thinking we better take all these other people and try and supply them. But if you have too many customers all at once, that can backfire for you as well. I was only talking to somebody else who said exactly that. You get too many customers and suddenly you haven't got enough staff, or you start taking on staff, and then suddenly those customers abandon you because the service is not as good as it was, and you've got more staff and you've got to pay them, and the whole business can collapse. It's a very clever scheme. So I'm asking you, do you think that we've been duped? Is this been all set up? Have farmers actually, and us, been the ones at the end of this? We think that we were very clever, going, oh no, not that Bovia stuff, oh no. But actually all we've done is escalate it. So where are we, and what do we do at the end of the day? Yes, we must take the idea that supermarkets do sell food that have strange and unwanted additives in it. Yes, it's a good idea to boycott these supermarkets, and it's a good idea to go to smaller places. But bear in mind, if hundreds of people go to these smaller farms and smaller food outlets, it can cause them a problem, particularly now. So if the service isn't great initially, then don't blame it on them, because they are under huge pressure to try and serve everybody. But we do need to set up more local shops, more local outlets, more local farms that can serve the community rather than these big corporate entities, because that's where they've captured us. And if we can do that, we can get out of this. We can take this false flag, we can take this thing to get rid of dairy and actually turn it round and take it to our advantage. So yes, it's a good idea, I think, to not go to the supermarkets, and to support our local suppliers, and to help those farmers who are trying to do good, and not those big industrial ones that are happy to take additives and all the other bits and pieces they do. It would be nice to see perhaps some of those bigger farmers selling off some of those land to other people who want to farm, and then create more farmers so we have more food, not the other way round. Don't let this get it on top of us so that we lose the dairy industry and cattle, because cows are not the problem. Cows in many ways are the answer, and they are misconstruing it so that we will get rid of all livestock and end up eating worms and all these artificial synthetic foods, the stuff that Sainsbury's in their report recently has said this is what we want to be selling. We'll do all the manufacture of food ourselves. Well, we don't want any of that rubbish. We want real food for real people. I don't know what you think. Maybe I've got it wrong, but I think this whole Arla Foods and the Bovia was manufactured by the globalists to get rid of the dairy industry. What do you think?